Well, you got to imagine Phil Mickelson probably still on cloud nine after making history last weekend and became the oldest player to win a major at the age of 50. Lefty won the PGA Championship at Kiawah Island over Brooks Koepka and Louis Oosthuizen to win his sixth major of his career. So while all the other top names he beat out throughout the week, taking the week off, looking forward, Lefty's not thinking about that. Despite his win in South Carolina, don't expect Mickelson to kind of sit out. When you talk about the betting favorite, when it comes to Charles Schwab next on deck, he's way down there. You see him on this page, but coming into 50-1 odds, that's not too bad. But compared to his 201 odds last week at the Ocean Course, it's pretty good. Here's Lefty earlier speaking to the media about a historic win there. Also, what's ahead.
It was a very special week. I don't know how to put it into words, and it's been a fun last couple of days. Flew home and saw Amy that night. We stayed up till 6 Eastern time in the morning and hung out all day and yesterday, and then flew out here. And I'm excited to play here because I've been playing well, and I want to try to carry that momentum into a tournament that I've enjoyed many times and fortunate to win a couple of times, and on a great golf course.
Awesome. With that, we will open it up to the media. We're going to get things started with Drew Davison. Drew, go ahead.
Yeah, Phil, you've kind of mentioned it, but why was it important for you to honor your commitment? I don't think anyone would have been shocked if you didn't show up this week after winning.
Never crossed my mind. I think that this is an incredible tournament, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity to compete, especially now that I'm had a bit of a breakthrough last week and played really well, and it's on a golf course that I've had some success too. So I also have a great pairing playing with Jordan Spieth and Daniel Berger. I mean, a really great pairing. So it's going to be a fun week, and I'm hoping to continue the same type of focus and performance as last week. And then I'll take the next 2 weeks off prior to the U.S. Open and try to spend some time at Torrey Pines as much as I can and put everything I can into that Open Championship.
Well, and then when you look at Colonial, it's kind of known as the shot maker's course, but when you got 360 in your back pocket, I mean, do you feel like you can overpower this course at different parts of it? Or you know what I'm saying?
I do. I would say no. I don't feel like I can overpower the golf course because of the penalty for being offline with the trees and so forth in the rough. But that's one of the reasons why I like the golf course, because iron play is so important, and that seems to be the strength of my game. So if I can get the ball in play and I don't have to hit a lot of drivers to get the ball in play, it allows me to hit approaches and make some birdies. And I think it's the reason why I've done well here in the past is because of my iron play.
And we'll go over to Adam Schupak with Golf Week.
Hey, Phil. I just want to talk a little bit about belief with you. You talked about how you still believe, but then you said you even didn't believe that you actually did it. How did you continue to have the confidence and belief in yourself? I feel like when you, after the round of Tampa, maybe that was close to your most dejected I've seen you in a long time. What were you able to turn around from there?
So, Adam, it's obviously been a struggle, as you know. I think a big thing for me and kind of getting things turned around has been the opportunity to play with a lot of good young players. And so just prior to Innisbrook, I had a chance to play with Rory McIlroy and Ricky Fowler at the Grove in Florida. I had a chance to play a lot of golf in the last year and a half with Charlie Hoffman and Xander Schauffele back in San Diego, and that's made a big difference for me. I remember a year ago to this day, almost to the day, where I was playing a few rounds at the Farms with Xander, and we played a match, and he went out and shot 64, and I'm like, wow, all right, he gave me a pretty good beating, and I wanted to, so let's do this again. So a few days later, we went and played again. He shot 63. I'm like, wow, okay, let me try one more time. So we go out next time, and he shoots 62, and on the 16th hole, a 220-yard par 3, I had to press, and I hit one 4 feet, and he makes a hole in one. And I went back and talked to Amy, and I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to beat this guy. I mean, he's probably playing the best of any player in the world right now. And then he came to Colonial the following week and almost won here last year. But seeing that and seeing the way that he played with this calm and didn't try to overpower every hole, but would try to overpower the holes that he should, and then keep the ball in play and get the ball on the ground and hit his iron shots pin high and be solid from inside 15 feet. I saw what it looked like to play at the highest level and so forth. Well, just prior to Innisbrook, I started shooting those same scores at the same course, and I felt like I should be able to compete, and I went to Innisbrook and missed the cut, and I didn't shoot the scores, and I didn't execute on tour the way I had been at home, and so I still had a barrier to break through, and that's why I was so frustrated, is that I wasn't bringing my best out when I knew I could, and I had a glimpse there obviously at Charlotte in one round, but I wasn't able to sustain it, and then to hold it together and play some really good golf over 72 holes last week meant a lot, because I had seen the progress, but I hadn't seen the results. And so that's why I say I had a belief, but until you actually do it, it's tough to really, fully believe it.
The way that you were able to focus last week, does it bolster your confidence that the days of playing like an idiot at the U.S. Open are over?
No, after 35 years of that, it's just not going to go away. But what I do think is this: one of two things is going to happen. Either that's going to be my last win, and I'm going to have one of the most cherished victories of my career to look back on and cherish for a long time. Or I also may have kind of found a little something that helps me stay a little bit more present and helps me focus throughout the round a little bit longer, and maybe I can execute and play golf at the highest level for a nice extended period of time. Now, I don't know which one it's going to be, but either way, they're both positive.
Thank you.
Next, we have Bernie McGuire with the Daily Record.
Bill, congratulations on your win on Sunday. Well done.
Thank you.
Can I ask you a question? A lot of the younger golfers and players coming up in the game look upon you as an inspiration, but you see yourself probably as an inspiration to players your own age. And the reason I ask you that is that there's an English golfer named Richard Bland who won the British Masters, as you know, last week. Looking forward to shaking your hands at Torrey Pines in a couple of weeks' time.
That's a pretty impressive win that he had, and to stay at it and work hard as long as he did, to have that breakthrough is it's an awesome feeling, and I'm really, really happy for him. It's a special moment. I get a lot of inspiration out of the young players too, because I see how talented they are, and it motivates me and inspires me too. And so I think there's places to find motivation and inspiration all over, and I really get a lot more out of playing with the young players, I think, than they get out of playing with me, because I get to see what I need to be able to do and continue to do, and what guys are playing the game in a different way. Like, they're coming at it with a different approach. I mean, Bryson's a great example, coming at it from a different approach and having a lot of success doing it, and I think it kind of opens my eyes to opportunities to continue to play well and play better.
Just a quick follow-up question, if I may. And as an Open champion, you probably heard the news yesterday that the RNA are hoping to get between 25% and 75% attendance at Royal St George's. I just thought, as an Open champion, what's your thoughts about possibly even at least the three-quarter attendance at Royal St George's when the event was cancelled last year?
I think that would be really special and cool. I should be fully vaccinated here in the next week or two, and I'll feel a little more comfortable after I'm able to complete that. But I think it's cool that things are starting to slowly progress and get back to normal. But we still need to be careful because we're not totally out of the woods yet.
Okay, look forward to seeing you there.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Now over to Cameron Morfitt with PGAtour.com.
Hey, Phil. Congratulations. Exciting stuff.
Thank you.
I know that obviously you're an inspiration to golfers, but How much do you think that people from other walks of life will kind of look at this like, hey, I'm not too old for X or Y or Z or whatever? I mean, and how much have you heard from people in other professions or other fields?
So I don't know if they need to look at this moment as the inspiration, but there's no reason why they can't, like, people can't be their best at an older age. It just they have a lot. After many years of doing something, you have a lot of experience, you have a lot of knowledge, and getting that out is the challenge, and it takes a little bit more work. Like, you might have to work a little bit harder for me physically, or you might have to be a little bit more disciplined off the golf course. You might have to practice a little bit more efficiently, all these things, but there's no reason why we can't be our best later on in life.
And do you think that the toughest part, discipline-wise, I think I heard you say something about this on Sunday, the biggest ask, discipline-wise, is the dietary stuff and just really eliminating the inflammatory, sugar, processed food, wheat, etc.?
I do think it's difficult. I don't know which is most difficult. It's probably different for each person, but for me, I was motivated because in 2010, I had an autoimmune disease that required me to take medication, and it could have easily shortened or ended my career. And because of a little bit more discipline eating-wise, I've been able to put it in remission and go about my normal life now. And so I know that eating's an important part for me because I have to get my immune system and T cells and everything in balance. But it also allows me to recover faster by eating better and getting rid of inflammation in my body. But I also have to work out, and I have to work out the right way so that my body functions right and that I don't cause injury when I practice. And then I need to be able to practice and work on my game and do it efficiently, because I might not be able to hit 500 balls, but I can still hit a couple hundred, and it should be enough if I do it the right way.
All right, thank you, Phil.
We're going to go back over to Adam Schupak. And Art, if you could go turn off your video for me, please.
Bill, I kind of noticed two trends this year. One being, we've seen a lot of guys in their 40s win. Sergio, Brian Gay, etc.
Stuart Sink, what a win at Hilton Head. Stuart Sink, yeah, that was amazing.
Exactly. And then guys who hadn't won in a while, such as Jordan. Did you gain any inspiration from either of those? You're kind of a melding of those two. Did you get inspiration from either of those two?
Absolutely. And seeing the way Jordan Spieth has come back and seeing how hard that he's worked and not getting the results that he wanted for a while, and then being patient and working and continuing to do the right things, and then his game comes back, and he's playing consistently now at the highest level every week, and he's had a huge win. I think that every player goes through challenges. We saw it on the LPGA Tour with Lydia Ko after struggling for a little while and dominating, and then struggling for a little bit, for her to come back and play as well as she has. Like, that's an inspiration. But Stuart Sink was a huge one too, because he won. He's won twice this year. He won at Napa and at Hilton Head, and watching him play, I had a chance to play with him at Charlotte, and he's striking it so good, hitting the ball long and straight, and having a lot of fun there with Reagan at his side, and it's a very inspiring person right there.
Lefty there talking about some of the old guys winning on the tour, Stuart Sink, and then of course himself, his 45th win on the tour, 6th major of his career. Taking a look at the odds as we get into the Charles Schwab Challenge here. This is where it looks interesting, or the U.S. Open. Let's move a little ahead forward, of course. That's next. We're talking Lefty. We're looking at the career Grand Slam. If you look at that as it breaks down, that's where the O is. He has not won at the U.S. Open. He touched on a little bit. It's been hunting him for the last 35 years. It should be interesting how he pans out. We'll see how Lefty, if he can get it done. Look, he got it done last week. U.S. Open, it's there for the taking.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.